So these are all the steps to set up your AI SOS Claude workspace so you can set up your skills and your agents and your workflows. Let's take a look. All right, so let me share my screen here and we can look at what we're going to do to get started. So the first step is to download the skill library. So if you go to the GitHub repo, you click code and then download zip, that's going to give you all the skills that you need. The next step is you're going to want to go to Claude. And if you're not already signed up, sign up. If you want the additional features, make sure you download the desktop version of the app. You can still do a lot through the web version. So we're going to look at web first, but if you want everything, make sure you download the desktop app. The first thing we're going to want to do is go to settings in general. And what we're going to do here is turn on atomic thought process, which is going to be better than the linear thought process that it typically uses. So you're going to want to go here and actually put this in as your personal preference, this chain of thought system prompt. There's a couple other settings here that you can change if you'd like. The next step, though, is actually to go to the privacy settings. You want to make sure that you have turned this off, help improve Claude. This is really important to make sure that your intellectual property and sensitive information is not used to train Claude. We just want to use Claude. So make sure you turn off the privacy setting here. And then the next thing you want to do is go over to capabilities. Here you scroll down. If you haven't already, make sure that memory is on and then enable skills if that's not already turned on. This is where we're going to be able to add the skills that we just downloaded. And the next thing here while we're in settings is you can go ahead and connect some of your connections. Like if you've got some of these outside systems that you use, there's a bunch of connectors here that you can use. And then you can also create your own MCP servers when you're using the desktop version, and you can set that up to connect with virtually any third-party service. There's lots of those MCP servers there. So once we've got the skills and all the setup configured, go over to projects and you can create a new project. I'm going to go ahead and go into a project I already have. And let me just zoom out so it's a little more visible. So here you can have instructions. Now this is the instructions for the workflow. So think about a project as an individual workflow, and the instructions are what are all the steps that you need to do for the workflow. And so this is just a very simple one where we're actually piecing together different steps of skills in series to create an overall workflow. So that's what the instructions are for. If you have some data or some materials that are just relevant to this workflow, go ahead and put that into the files here. And then you can create your chats from here with a scope to the particular agent. So you can kick things off, different workflows, and you can verify all of the individual steps. So this would be an example of running the full workflow where I basically asked it to do all the research and create the roadmap and everything that product R&D entails. And then it created all the different deliverables so I can check and verify each step to make sure that it's actually what it needs to be. So that's how an overall workflow works with instructions. You create the prompt to kick off the workflow like we just looked at in the chat. And then you can iterate on the skills and the output based on what you see here. So that is the crash course on how to get this set up. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.